Guys, I don't normally ask for likes at the start of videos. I normally just remind you with this little cute animation right here. But I spent a lot of time on this one and I lost a couple hours of sleep. So, you know, if you're a BlazBlue cross tag battle player right now and you haven't caught up to RWBY, do it. This character's moveset is almost entirely spoilers. So as I talk about each of the references, you've been warned. With that in mind, let's talk about Politan's BlazBlue cross tag battle moveset and all the references I could spot. Pretty much her entire moveset is a reference to something she did in the animated series, with some slight exceptions, which we'll talk about as we go. Let's start off with her DP, which isn't much of an anti-air from the looks of it, but hey, what are you gonna do? She uses this roundhouse kick to level Yang to the ground in her first ever fight in the series. From the same fight, we get her standard grab animation. Yes, you can grab the tank. Let's move on. She also has a character-specific mechanic. When you press forward while playing Neo, your character is going to do what is functionally a roll. She uses this exact animation against Yang. In a very similar fashion, too. She kind of switches sides with her. Neo's clash is a split-legged kick that she does against Cinder. When it connects, she uses a bunch of clones and then ends up poking the opponent with the umbrella. This animation is actually identical to the one she uses at the end of her heavy combo, which we'll talk about a little bit later, but if you wanted to pinpoint a specific time where she used just a single poke of her umbrella, she does use that against Yang. Her standing block animation was also used against Yang as she threw out a projectile, and her crouching block is an original animation, but it appears to be slightly inspired by her fight with Cinder as she crouches down to the ground in a similar way. But to my knowledge, her crouching light is not a reference, but it could be a reference to how she picks up this bowl, maybe? But I'm assuming it's just an original animation. Her light auto combo is a combination of two different moments from the series, the first of which she swings her umbrella twice at Cinder and then she throws out a single back heel kick. The second part of it is these two backflip kicks she does against Yang. The heavy combo is a little bit more basic, thankfully, and it's just a combo she does against Cinder. She swings her umbrella while it's open twice and then pokes Cinder. Her air buttons are a little bit more complicated to look at because they're so short, as most air buttons are, but I believe I figured it out. The medium and the light are taken from two different fights, one's against Ruby Rose and the other one's against Cinder. You can see them playing in the background as I talk, and the air heavy is a front flip kick. I could not find anything that matched this, so I do believe it's an inaccurate version of this attack she uses against Cinder. Inaccurate might be the wrong word, slightly adjusted. In the series, she uses her umbrella as the primary part of the attack, and in the game, she uses her leg. Again, I could be wrong, but I just believe it's a slightly different version of that animation. She also has a dive kick, which is a new thing. I couldn't find Neo doing anything like this in the series, so unless it's a reference to her stomping on someone's face during the Vital Festival, it's an original move. On to the fun stuff, special moves, starting with her quarter circle forward or a 2-3-6. If you ever hear somebody say, oh, so she's basically Hibiki, it's because of this move. She throws out a clone, and that clone will attack the enemy, kind of like a basic projectile, but the B version of the move allows her to take the place of that clone, and the meter burn version allows her to follow up with various combos. While Neo has never done this specifically, she has shown the ability to basically do this in the past. The start of the animation is very similar to something she does against Yang, so it's possible this is trying to slightly reference this moment right before the camera cuts to white. But that might be a bit of a stretch. Neo's next special move is a teleport. She has three different versions of the move. The normal version goes into her standard dive kick. The B version is a parry, where she'll teleport behind the enemy, and the final version is a low. Neo has shown the ability to practically teleport before. I say practically because it's not actually a teleport, it just kind of looks like she's teleporting, but the startup of the animation is a reference to her saving Roman from Team RWBY in the very first episode she appeared in. Neo can also float. This is another special move just like any other, but it can only be done in the air, of course, and it's a direct reference to something she does against Cinder. She also has a version of this, which is an air parry, which was pretty cool to see. I actually didn't notice Neo's first super move as a reference to anything until we saw the resonance version of it, when you can see her do the final kick of the combo she does against RWBY on top of the Elysian ship. Her second super, to my knowledge, is not a reference, at least the motion that she's doing without resonance, though obviously she's wearing Roman's hat, which is a big reference to the infamous hat scene during Volume 6, but if you have resonance on, you'll see an additional hit to the super move where she does the same move that she did against RWBY with Roman, which I thought was a nice take of subtlety, because of course the hat is quite on the nose, where this is something where only a really serious RWBY fan will notice. And finally, we have Neo's Astral finish. This is a reference to two separate moments, both of which where she tried to kill people. Bad Neo. One is obvious, they are on top of the Elysian ship, so it's obviously a reference to the Roman and Neo versus RWBY fight, but the motion she's doing at the end of the Astral finish where she walks towards her opponent is much more reminiscent of what she did against Yang. So, that's it. Every reference I could spot from Politan's moveset. Did I miss anything? Tell me all about it in the comments. If I did miss anything, it's probably something really small, like a low attack or something like that. But all the big stuff was in this video. I want to thank you so much for watching. My name is BBTAG. I'll be sure to see you in the next video.